Hello friends, let's we start or continue the lesson The Romance of a Busy Broker. In last lecture, the young lady stenographer lady wandering in the office with his own impression, and she moved towards the Maxwell's desk. The machine sitting at that desk was no longer a man, it was a busy New York broker moved by buzzing wheels and uncoiling springs. Means the machine was sitting on the desk and the machine was waiting for the busy broker, New York broker, and the New York broker finally reached to his table. Well, what is it? Anything? Asked Maxwell sharply. And when Maxwell reached at the desk of his own, then the stenographer also reached to the desk of Maxwell. Then the Maxwell asked the lady, "What is it?" His opened his opened and his opened mail lay like a bank of stage stage snow on his crowded desk, and in his desk there was a heap of mails, and on that crowded desk his skin gray eyes impersonal and burlesque. Burlesque means speak in a sharp and abrupt manner, and his skin grey eyes speak in a very sharp manner flashed upon her half impatiently, and his keen eyes flashed upon the appearance of the impatient young and beautiful woman. He asked her that what he reached in his office and also in his desk. Nothing, answered the stenographer, moving away with a little smile. And she answered, "Nothing." And she also moved towards the another way with a little smile. "Mr. Pitcher," she said to the confidential clerk, "did Mr. Maxwell say anything yesterday about engaging another stenographer?" And she also told Mr. Pitcher, the confidential clerk of Mr. Maxwell, told about that the yesterday's news about the demand of a stenographer to the company. "He did," answered Pitcher. "He told me to get another one." And Pitcher also answered to her that Maxwell also told the previous day for the order of a stenographer, for the demand of a stenographer to a company. "I noticed the agency yesterday afternoon to send over a few samples this morning." And Pitcher also forwarded the news or the notice of Mr. Maxwell to the agency for the demand of the stenographer. "It's 9:45 o'clock and not a single pitcher, hat or piece of pineapple chewing gum has showed up yet." and it was the time of 9:45 o'clock, and there was only one single picture came in that office. "I will do the work as usual then," said the young lady, and the young lady also said that she would do the work as usual, means she was ready to do the work as usual until someone comes to fill the place. And until someone comes to fill the place means he was agree or he was ready to do the work until the new stenographer appointed. And she went to her desk at once and hung the blank turban hat with a golden green macaw wings in its accustomed place. And she turned towards her desk and hung the black turban with the gold green mac wings. Means in her own manner, she reached towards her desk. He who has been denied the spectator of busy Manhattan broker during a rush of business is handicapped for the profession of anthropology. The poet sings of the crowded hours of glorious life. The broker's hour is not only crowded, but the minutes and seconds are hanging to all the straps and packing both front and rear platforms. In the desk of the Maxwell, there was a heap of mails and letters from the agencies because Maxwell was a very busy broker and he was unable to do the all works in his own capacity. That's why he wanted a stenographer. And this day was Harvey Maxwell's busy day. And that day when the lady came, the day was the Maxwell's very busy day. The ticker began to reel out jerkily into fitful coils of tape. The desk telephone had a chronic attack of buzzing, and continuously the telephone was ringing, and the calls from the other agencies uh, for their work continuously ringing the bell, and that's why Harvey Maxwell was very busy at that day. Men began to throng into the office, and all the members or all the employees in that office were also busy. They were thrown into the office and called at him over the railing jovially, sharply, viciously, and excitedly. And they were very excited to attend the call of each and every person. Messenger boys ran in and out with messages and telegrams. The messenger boys also busy, and they ran in and out with the telegrams and messages. The clerk in the office jumped about like sailors during a storm, and the clerk also were very busy like a sailors during a storm in a ship. There were a sailor and other persons, and when the storm begins, or he also know the storm would begin, then the sailors jumped from the ship at like this. The clerks in the busy jumped like a sailor. Even Peacher's face relaxed into something resembling animation. And teacher's face also relaxed into something resembling animation by seeing all the situation in that day. On the exchange there were hurricanes and landslides and snowstorm and glaciers and volcanoes, and those eternal disturbances were. Sorry friends. Reproduced in miniature in the broker's office. And the situation in the broker's office like a hurricanes, like a very violent storm. And all the persons in that office were hurriedly doing their works in that day. Maxwell showed his chair against the wall and transacted business after the manner of a toe dancer. He jumped from ticker to phone. Eh? He jumped from a telephone and then the machine, from desk to door with the trained agility of a Harlem. Agility means the ability to move the body quickly, and he moved his body in a fraction of second for doing the other works like a joker. Harlequins means joker. In the midst of this growing and important stress, the broker became suddenly aware of a high rolled fringe of golden hair under a nodding canopy of velvet and outreached tips. And in that day, the beautiful lady reached to the desk of the Maxwell. And in that busy schedule, the broker became suddenly aware of high-strolled fringe of golden hair under a nodding canopy of velvet and ostrich tips, and he stared at her because her beauty was very attractive. An imitation silkskin squeak and a string of beads as large as hickory nuts, ending near the floor with a silver heart. And she was very beautiful, and she wore a very loose hip-long jacket and covered the her hair was covered with silk silken like her hairs, and there was a self-possessed young lady connected with these accessories, and her behavior was like that. She was also a part of that office, and Peter was there to construct her, and Peter also construct her, means to understand the lady's behavior. So friends, the next part we will be continue tomorrow.